In the year 600 AD, during the Tang dynasty, the Chinese physician and scholar Sun Simiao laid the foundations of Chinese medicine. Sun emphasized the goal of attaining a high level of skill so that practitioners could treat illness preventatively. The physician should aspire to practice superior medicine by implementing interventions that prevent disease. According to Sun, the need to treat disease is inferior medicine. Clearly, Sun would view vaccination as superior medicine. Vaccination schedules intended to prevent disease are recommended in each country and may vary here and there. The number of vaccines included in the schedules has increased over the years. Consequently, so have the objections and concerns raised by some people. First and foremost is the question of their safety, a topic we've just reviewed. Other objections argue that our immune system may not be able to cope with the exposure to so many antigens contained in the vaccines. There are those that question the actual necessity of vaccination and would prefer their children acquire immunity the natural way, by getting sick. Is natural immunity better? And then there are the moral issues. Does the government have the right to impose vaccination on our babies? Or do parents have the right to withhold protection of a child as part of their personal beliefs? There are many valid points that can be considered. Hopefully now that you have a better understanding of cells, viruses, and immunity, you can think about vaccination and what seems right for you. In this unit, I will review some of the points in the context of the typical vaccination schedule recommended for the first 2 years of a child's life. So, here you are. Here's a simple chart mapping out a typical recommended vaccination schedule for the first 24 months of a child. You can read about each vaccine in detail in the accompanying learning materials. A total of 13 pathogens are covered by 1 killed vaccine, 6 live attenuated vaccines, and 6 subunit vaccines. Some vaccines are routinely combined and given as a single shot. This obviously reduces the number of shots and visits to the clinic the child must undergo. All vaccines are given multiple times. Vaccination consists of a first initial shot, followed by booster shots. Although some protection is always gained even from the first shot, the full series of boosts should be completed in order to achieve maximal protection. The timing can vary, and some parents may prefer to spread out the injections and even split combined vaccines into their individual pathogens. The rule of thumb is that by prolonging vaccination, one increases the interim periods that the child remains vulnerable to preventable disease. Splitting vaccination regimens is theoretically fine. Vaccines act independently, and there are no synergistic advantages. No vaccine works better when given along with another. However, considering our busy lives, there is the advantage of giving multiple vaccines together once the child and parent are at the clinic. The question of antigen load is actually not of great concern. The total number of antigens that comprise the entire vaccination schedule is less than 150 proteins and polysaccharides. You probably noticed that smallpox vaccine is no longer required, thanks to Jenner and vaccination. Smallpox has been totally eradicated. But consider this. The smallpox vaccine alone contains some 200 antigens in one shot. So the complete set of vaccines given to children contains substantially less than the old smallpox vaccine. What's more, the whooping cough vaccine used to consist of killed bacteria that had over 2,000 antigens. Now, with the advent of sub-acellular vaccines, the number of antigens has been reduced to a mere 5. As vaccine technologies improve, the burden is reduced. However, much more important is the fact that the vaccines are now markedly more effective in focusing our immune system to where it really matters, to target those antigens that provide maximal protection. Natural immunity results from first getting sick. Pathogens have evolved to present to the immune system those antigens that afford an advantage to the pathogen. Thus, for example, flu virus and HIV make their most variable surfaces most accessible to B cells and keep preferred epitopes that are most conserved, concealed, and hidden. In this way, the virus manipulates our immune system to its advantage and evades immunity. Vaccine technologies, however, do not need to play by the rules of nature. Scientists study and discover the details of the pathogen, its structure, and mechanisms of disease, and then target the most advantageous antigens that afford the maximal protective impact. Many people who object to vaccines may not have ever seen or experienced measles, mumps, or polio. The success of vaccination, in some respects, is what misleads some to believe that the threat of disease and viruses is not really out there. Experiencing disease is never good for you and sometimes can kill you. Over and over again, we see that a dramatic drop in disease incidence follows the introduction of every new vaccine. Time and time again, vaccines have reduced the prevalence of disease towards eradication. During this course, we've discussed various topics with our experts. Let's see what they have to say about vaccines.